Hello everyone and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson and I am channeling the man in the moon. If you would like to get a reading from me, I'm going to post my website just below in the description. Also, I do teach channeling, so if that interests you, do not hesitate to let me know, send me an email, and we'll get to work on that. One thing that's just really on my mind right now, and that is people who believe in conspiracy theories. And I'm kind of interested in why. First of all, I'm also really interested in knowing how we can deal with people who believe in these conspiracy theories. This isn't going to go away tomorrow. It's going to be a while. And it is really incumbent on us to understand how to live in relationship to that. Now, as we're doing this, one thing, remember, your anger could really come in. And your anger is an important factor in all of our lives. So as you do this, one way to start, and I'm going to do it myself, is just to picture anger. What does your anger look like? This time my anger looks a little different, right? So my anger kind of looks like a vampire lady. Actually, she's got a sword in her teeth. Now I'm going to look at my anger and then say, welcome. Thank you for all the help that you've done for me. Without anger, I would not be the person I am today. And anger can be really our absolute ally in this. And I want us just to say hello to anger, say thanks again, but just say just for a moment, just for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to ask you to take a seat and just observe. I'm not disrespecting you, anger. I just want you to have a seat here while I move forward and take a look at this question. All right, why do people believe in conspiracy theories? Can you tell me, Spirit? Okay. So, as you guys might know, I get a lot of physical images these days, especially pyramids. Here's a pyramid, and it's spinning like a top. It's spinning around and around. And as it's spinning, it's like losing bits and pieces. It's almost like a obstruction gets in the way, and it's grinding against it, and bits of it fall and break. And this just lets me know that people who follow these conspiracy theories, it's sort of a path down a hole, it just one piece comes up and then another, and it's spinning out of control. And I mean, I'll just tell you guys, today it's really stupid. I don't know why, but I just could not stop watching Karen videos. I couldn't stop myself. It's like hours. I'm like, Dave, do your work. No, but I couldn't stop watching. And that's all of us, at some moment in time, we just go down this rabbit hole of emotions and understand that, we're not allowed to be emotional in a lot of situations. But now we have this machine. We just click the right button. We can go to anger, joy, happiness. It's all delivered to us. And in that sense, we're really being manipulated, right? We're really being told to step into anger for a couple hours or step into happiness for a couple hours. The latter would probably not be so bad. But generally speaking, people go towards anger or frustration or something like that. Why? Why, Spirit? Why do we do that? Why do I do that? Part of it is just, we want to feel something. We are disconnected from others right now, and we don't have communities. So we just want to have these feelings. And maybe we already have feelings of anger. And now we just want to indulge in ourselves. It's just anger, 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 anger. It's in some sense a natural reaction. But also, we've just gotten to this level of technology where it is sort of beyond our psychological control. It's like, imagine if alcohol were introduced to our community for the first time. We'd start drinking and it would be a great time, and then some people wouldn't stop drinking. Maybe all of us wouldn't stop drinking because we didn't know what an alcoholic was. We didn't know that it was addictive, right? It'd take us a while to figure that out. And then we might start putting some rules and saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then we might have a lot more awareness around that, right? So think of Native American communities or any indigenous communities that did not have alcohol. When it arrived, they didn't have the tools to understand its use and abuse. We could think of the reverse with nicotine, tobacco. Native Americans just used it very sparingly and mostly in ritual experiences. They didn't smoke 2 packs a day, right? And then they gave it to the world, and we really couldn't handle it, and it caused lots of death. This is a new tool, and in some sense, it's really important to, in your heart, forgive people. They are a people with a new tool, and they don't know yet how to use it. It's like if you gave a child a machete, and then they cut someone, and they would look at you and say, I didn't know that it cut. This is just a really important point, because these people who are doing this, they're not bad, they're not evil, they don't set out to do something wrong. They're just coerced in this kind of way. They are overwhelmed by the experience of life. They don't know how to deal with their feelings, failures. There's so many failures in life right now. You've got a video which is the perfect rich people and their beautiful family and everybody's thin and all that stuff. None of us can achieve that divine goal, and if we looked like that in the inside, we wouldn't be that anyway, right? So we're spending the whole day comparing ourselves to these impossible pictures of people. It's just not right. In a sense, the humanity has been just kind of taken out of our body, where we can no longer accept that people have different tasks in the community. Some people make more money, some people make less, but we're all one community, and it's all important, and it's some kind of community and understanding of really who we are as a collective has totally disappeared. So it's really hard not to do this. It's really hard not to judge others when they are following these kind of crazy trails. It's really hard not to think, oh my God, are you stupid? Do you believe everything you read, really? Didn't you figure that one out? But let's face it, every one of us, me, you, everyone, has done that a little bit. We've all gone down little rabbit holes and made mistakes. Hopefully we figure that out and we apologize and we learn. We wouldn't learn anything, we didn't make mistakes. But understand that that's just because some of us are a little bit more aware, we're a little bit more equipped. The person who is not equipped to deal with those things is in some sense really a victim. This does not mean that we accept their actions. Their actions are different from the human being. The human being deserves compassion. We don't know what happened to them in their lifetime. We don't know what chemicals go on in their body. We don't know what situation is happening for them. And we have to do our best to act with some kind of compassion. You guys don't waste your time, trying to be compassionate with someone who's really going to suck the life out of you. You could generate that energy in a different direction. There's somebody who really wants and deserves it. But it's very important, I think, that we don't judge the person. We try to judge the action, right? That seems like a really important and great message. Also, there's a message for us existing in relationship to those people. And part of that is our own self-awareness. To what degree can I be like that? To what degree can I, Dave Johnson, be cruel? To what degree have I done really stupid stuff because I'm ignorant and I just didn't know any better? Now, that's everyone that you meet, right? That's everyone at some point in their lives. And one of the things that's going on here is for us to really understand ourselves in relation to that. Like, one, I'm going to see that, so I know that this is not an example that I want to follow. Two, how do I relate to that? Well, we as humans, we can go really high. We can be like, spirit and angel. We can also obviously go low. We can't really exist up here all the time, like maybe Jesus and Buddha and, Harry Tubman can be like that, but I can't. I'm a limited human, so we have to constantly be sort of negotiating. Here's the person who's doing these things. How can we act in the right relationship? How can we live up to our highest good and our highest self while we're existing in relationship to that? Again, understand, this does not mean you need to give your life away trying to convince a certain set of people that do not want to be convinced. But there are going to be situations where you're in relationship with them, and you must deal with them. You must try to be a good example. You must try to not use harsh language. You must try to not say things that are, personal attacks. And instead of saying, hey, you're stupid, go, really, try to find out what's underlying that feeling. Here's a moment for you to understand, right? And if you want to be on the highest level, that's where you gotta be. Peaceful, understanding. That might be a no. I've got a hard line. My no's are, racism is a hard no. I won't even deal with that. I won't even talk to a person for the most part who's like that, because I can't go there, frankly. But most people have a little bit more flexibility, in my opinion. In my experience too, we could talk to people who kind of follow these theories and, maybe give them an example of our own personal lives and why we disagree with that. That would be effective. It would be effective to be an example. I was once many years ago on a webpage, and I was commenting with these crazy, crazy people. They were saying the craziest things. And each time I tried to be as compassionate as possible. I tried to make my point without being rude. And finally, this one woman started, throwing it at me. Yeah, you people are all the same. I said, well, actually, I really am not that way. I really haven't attacked a person personally. I really haven't done that. And the next message she sent me is, well, I looked at all your messages, and it's true. You have been extremely diplomatic and polite and generous and kind. And then she stopped writing, right? So part of this is learning for all of us. We can't really project all the bad onto the other person. Obviously, we recognize it in ourselves, and that's one thing that's making us upset. It doesn't mean we have to accept this. It doesn't mean we have to believe these theories. It doesn't mean that we have to give the conspiracy theory equal weight to the truth. But if you just ask an anti-masker, well, are you a virologist? Okay, no. Well, I believe, Dr. Fauci, he's a virologist, and he knows what he's doing, and here are the things that he's done. I believe him. You don't need to say, and I don't believe you. There's no good in a personal attack. It doesn't do you any good. It just brings you kind of down to their level a little bit. This doesn't mean that they're right in any way. It doesn't mean that you're wrong in any way. And if you know you're right, if it's sort of in your heart, you don't need to prove it to anyone. And real true leaders, especially religious leaders, they really understood that you could just, even if every single person in your society is against you, you could show up in the right way and through example change people's mind. And remember, it's a lot about compassion for the other people in your society. They don't necessarily have total control of their actions. Who knows what chemicals they are experiencing, perhaps even from birth. Some people have certain childhood experiences which are going to bias them in a particular direction. We don't know that when we meet somebody in the street, right? We don't know why somebody's acting like a racist insofar as they are doing that. I don't accept their action, but I think there must be something underneath that. Fear, all of those things. If you do watch those Karens, one thing I've started to do is feel a little bit more sympathetic, because I just wonder, what could send a person over the edge like that? What could cause a person to, and I should not be sexist and say, Kens and Karens, what causes that person to do that? Why are they so upset? And maybe there is something to the fact that it is more Karens. Maybe women are in experiencing something where they feel powerless, or there are repressed anxieties and memories that they just haven't uncovered, and they're just reacting. Maybe they're a person who's very lonely and they just want to have some kind of human connection. This doesn't mean you should spend your day walking around helping such people, but you're going to meet them, you're going to encounter them. And not only for others, but for your own soul, you really have to do your best to be as even as possible. Say the truth without cruelty, just for the sake of doing the right thing. Remember, few people are really evil. They're maybe misguided. Maybe they are hurt. Maybe they are lonely. We don't know. It is incumbent on all of us to understand ourselves in relationship to those people, because we live in a society and they are part of that society. Thanks so much for watching.